Hey guys, it's Paradise, and are you a fan of action RPGs or MMOs? Well, one is on the horizon that people seem pretty excited about from the trailer, which is looking actually awesome. It has an epic setting, magic, and a ton of classes to choose from. However, the company behind it hasn't got the best reputation for handling MMOs. So in today's video, we wanted to tell you what to expect from the game and what you're getting into if you're thinking about picking this up. This is ArcheAge Chronicles, which was originally revealed as ArcheAge 2 in 2022. The game has, however, undergone a title and focus change from a pure MMO like the first ArcheAge to an MMO with action RPG mechanics. In the State of Play trailer, we got to see some of this in action with its more fast-paced combat system. Rather than the old combat style of tab targeting, which was how ArcheAge 1 functioned, we can see the players more dynamically dodging, attacking, and repositioning, making the game look a lot more exciting. The devs have actually said that the title change reflects the change to a more streamlined game. This is what they said in a press release. "We are incredibly excited to unveil ArcheAge Chronicles to the world. This new title represents our vision of combining the expansive, immersive elements of an MMO with the dynamic, engaging gameplay of an online action RPG. We can't wait for players to experience the next chapter of the ArcheAge universe." Now, if you're wondering when the game is going to be released, the game is scheduled to release in 2025 for PC and consoles. But what exactly is the game? If you aren't familiar with the world of ArcheAge, it's all about fantasy, pirates, and warring factions. The original game had a heavy focus on naval combat, land ownership, and large-scale open-world PvP. We actually played it back in the day on stream and did enjoy it. However, it did suffer from pay-to-win elements, which is one of the major concerns people have heading into this, and we will talk about this later in the video too. But for the actual game, here is the information that's been released about it so far. The story takes place after an airship crash, and you're a member of the trading company that is looking to make a name for themselves by exploring and trading their way up. The official description is that the story of ArcheAge Chronicles takes place during the narrative of Aurora, roughly 50 years after the events of the original. The latter's narrative centered around the player's efforts to prevent a large-scale catastrophe. In lieu of exploring other contemporaneous plotlines, now we shift the focus to these untold tales, placing the hopes and struggles of Aurora's settlers at the forefront of a brave new world. The title was chosen as a reflection of our aim to tell untapped stories from different perspectives in the same era, shedding light on previously unexplored lore. In short, there are many stories waiting to be told, and we have plans for much more to come. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how much of an improvement the storytelling will be now that they've shifted focus away from a full MMO to a more action RPG direction. The vision for the game is to translate the combat found in single-player action games into a persistent online world. And talking about the action RPG focus, we actually know from the developers that the new combat system will allow us to explore a wide range of combat styles, including close quarters combat, ranged attacks, and powerful magic, which I'm glad to hear as this is an online game. They have also said we'll be able to jump, fall, roll, dash, block, and parry, which is sounding pretty good to me. They spoke about this a little bit more in a PlayStation blog, saying that the instinctive and spectacular combat is a core feature of the ArcheAge series, and in ArcheAge Chronicles, we'll experience a refined combat system presenting strategic choices during battle. You can engage in fierce combos, elemental attacks, and clever defense tactics, together with highly maneuverable characters. With a team of 10 or more players, you'll unleash even greater synergies, master chain skills in sync with your team to take down even the most formidable raid bosses. From small monsters to massive bosses, every encounter is meant to be designed as memorable and challenging. Now, the combat from the trailer does look good and actually makes us want to play it. And it looks like this is the same for a lot of people looking at the comments on the trailer. However, it does kind of look like it's pre-rendered rather than actual gameplay to us. The animations look a little too smooth and like they don't flow the same way as when a human is pressing buttons. So that's something to think about. But PvP was a major focus in the original ArcheAge, and ArcheAge 2 was meant to carry on that theme in a reduced capacity with more of a focus on guild versus guild combat rather than large-scale open-world PvP from the original. However, since the name change to ArcheAge Chronicles, there hasn't been any mention of PvP until a post from the devs on Steam, which said PvP will also have its place in ArcheAge Chronicles. Revitalized trade runs will involve elements of risk and reward, where PvP encounters become more likely as the stakes of the journey increase with higher levels. Additionally, we're exploring an evolved crime system and organized PvP activities, including arenas like the Colosseum, to enhance the competitive experience. So it's nice to see that PvP will still be there for those players that prefer that experience. But for those that want more of a PvE focus, then the game will also offer content for all playstyles, including party play and 20-player raids. Outside of the progression of the main story, most PvP encounters can be accessed as both a solo player as well as a full-fledged party. In addition to fighting, you can engage in world events, tackle open-world raid bosses, and experience iconic game modes like the Crimson Rift, which is all set in a richly detailed MMO environment. So basically there will be a bunch of things to do in this big MMO world. But another thing that's different in ArcheAge Chronicle is the housing. Now players can build and customize their own houses, which is a pretty cool sounding feature. So instead of the old open world setup, there are now special housing zones that you can decorate. So hopefully you now have a general overview of what to expect from the game, and we currently don't have information on classes just yet, as well as various other deep mechanics. However, the game does have one major red flag. The publisher is Cacao Games, and they're known for including heavy microtransactions in their game that are actually pay to win. You see, the original game allowed you to purchase gear, items, and other resources that would allow you to gain a straight advantage over other players. This has become a sticking point for the community, even with the devs relaunching the game. This isn't the only game they've introduced pay-to-win elements into either, as they also did this back in Black Desert Online after putting out a statement saying they wouldn't. It got so bad that the original publisher of Black Desert Online actually took the publishing back in-house to kind of take control of the situation. So while the trailer does look really cool, we wanted to make you aware of the company's previous history with MMOs so you can get a bit more informed on it. But for now, you can enjoy the full trailer so you don't have to go looking for it.
How did it feel to learn the truth about the night sky tragedy? Long ago, you humans slaughtered each other until the whole world lay in ruins. And yet, you have been granted another chance in Auroria. It must be the will of your beloved mother goddess. However, I still have no trust in your kind. Prove yourself. If you survive this trial, perhaps you might become one of us.